Today I want to talk about how the recruiting rankings reveal who the class teams in college football are, and that is how you will know who's going to play in the college football playoff and win a national title. And all that's coming up after the bumper.
Don't be cornering me. Hold up. Time. You gotta help me with that corner shit.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I'm not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always OU related, college football related, sports related. We have a good time. And today I want to talk about how you can take a look at the 2020 team recruiting rankings and tell yourself who's going to win a national title, who's going to be in the playoff situation. I talked about this with my buddy Jerry Ostrowski at length. Before we get to that, I want to remind you, sign up for my newsletter. Just give me the sbcglobal.net Hotmail account you don't use, the one you use for the coupons or whatnot. I'm just looking to see the stats go right now. And if you do that between now and December 7th, one of you is going to get this bad boy right here. It's a Hertz lamp or an OU lamp, depending on how you want to see it. It's free, man. Just sign up for the newsletter. All right, that's it from... No. Let's talk to Jerry. All right, Jerry. So what I want to do is run through the top 10 recruiting list for the 2020 class and see how this matches up to you about what the top 10 teams are according to the college football playoff rankings as we think they might be projected on Tuesday. So check this out. Number 1, 2020 recruiting class is Clemson, which fits. Number 2, LSU, also fits. Alabama, number 3. Ohio State, number 4. Georgia, number 5. Texas, number 6. Texas A&M, number 7. Auburn, number 8. Notre Dame, number 9. And then Michigan at number 10, with Oklahoma at number 12 here. But if you go through this list, you'll see that there are teams that are totally underperforming their recruiting classes and also teams that are just right where you thought they would be. And I was thinking about this, and we do this thing all the time where we talk about the team talent composite, which is, how many stars does a collective roster have. But I think it kind of falls off a cliff when you're making an argument after 4. When is the last time that Oklahoma's been in that top 5 is a question I put to myself, and it's been some time. Whereas LSU has consistently been there the last couple of years. Guess what they're doing? Clemson climbed that chart. Guess what they're doing? Alabama, Ohio State. Ohio State feels good about everything they're doing right now because they're that team that you described earlier when you're talking about you see dudes that can just roll in and play. Friggin' Ohio State loses the best player in all of college football probably for 4 games. For the rest of the season, they say, it's cool. We got 2 where that one came from. 2, Jerry, 2. You get 2 freaks on the defensive line behind a freak? Who does that? Who does that?
Because we saw it this weekend at LSU Bama. They had guys dropping left and right.
Yeah.
The new dudes showing up. They had guys even make the trip.
Man, golly. That one. Oh, also, my favorite, you sent this tweet to me, of the LSU kids, like in uniform, running down to where they knew the Alabama recruits are and telling them to come to LSU.
Savage.
Yo, college football. Yo. That moxie. No, man. Forget Bryant Denny. Come down to Tiger Stadium. You know what it is.
Well, I've never been to Bryant Denny, but I've been to Tiger Stadium, and I'll say this: pro or college, I've never been in an atmosphere like that in my life.
No, I'm gonna get there. I'm excited about that team. I've been excited about that team for about I want to say 3-4 weeks now because I was late to the Joe Burrow party because I was skeptical. And then I did my due diligence after he started putting up some stupid numbers early on in the season. And just to find out how that kid is made and to find out how they revamped the entire LSU program to not only be at the forefront of football, but to fit the kids in a way that I wish more programs fit the kids when we're talking about from an athletic standpoint. And then, you root for Ed. You do. He's a little wired a little differently, and there's not a lot. There's a lot of stuff in his past that he probably would do over again. But in as far as seeing a dude that you would like to see win a national championship, I could put Ed up there. Ed's a good dude.
But reading the SI article that was just out about him, I have to appreciate what he said when they talked to the athletic director about hiring him. He said, "Look, I want another chance." He goes, "I made a lot of mistakes at Ole Miss, and I want to I want to make up for him.
Right.
And I think it takes a big man to understand what you did wrong and to grow from it and get better. And knowing people that have played for him and people that have worked for him, probably this second stint as a head coach, the best thing that he's done is he understands what his weaknesses are, and he's allowed people that are talented to make up for those and help in those areas. And by doing that, it's allowed him to do what he does best, which is be Ed Orgeron, leader of the crazy ass Cajun football team. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what Ed does best. I mean, if you want to they talk about stereotyping actors. After being the head coach at LSU, could he be the head coach anywhere else but LSU?
Oh, yeah. And we got it to show, but your point is taken. Like, I get your point. 'Cause,
you know what I mean?
Yes, I do. I understand that. I also, this is a nice segue here. Ed got an opportunity a lot of guys don't get, or if they get it, they screw it up again, right? Because if you were betting on Ed Orgeron to be 9-0 with a win against a top 3 Bama team to show for it, you would have been laughed at 2 years ago.
But do you realize the only reason he's in the position he's in is because the state was broke?
Okay, well,
and they couldn't buy him out. That's what's so crazy about this. After the first year, what was their record?
They were like 9-4.
Yeah, 9-4 something, and it was like, but he was a stopgap. We want to take him out, but we don't have the money to do it, and nobody wanted to write the check, so he stays another year. And I'm just saying, it's crazy. I mean, it's just fate. It's the way it's happened.
That's a glass half full look at it, because we've come to understand. People have money, and if they want you up at the blacktop, they will get you up off the blacktop. Take a look at Chad Morris. Take a look at Willie Taggart. Okay.
Wow.
So, like, no, I mean, you want to talk about who's more?
No, you're right. You're 100% correct.
So, like,
that's
why I'm saying that's glass half full. Is like, forget the budget. When it comes to a football coach, people will find the money if they don't like you. If they don't like you and they're tired of you, they will find the money to fire you.
Exactly, but it goes right back to what I was saying earlier, and the fact that Ed knew what he was weak at, and he got help with it because we knew what Ed was good at. He was good at recruiting, okay? He can recruit, and he can get talent, okay? And that is exactly what he's done. He's going to be in basically the CEO of the place and being the master recruiter.
But stop there.
Let me finish my point.
I was just saying.
All right, go ahead.
You glossed over the CEO part. You glossed over it. That's why I was going. The master recruiter part we know about, right? We know about that part. Watching Ed Orgeron actually run a chief of staff meeting like because that was the top for me. You know, Bush, not everybody's favorite president, also not a horrible president, right? But he had the smart dudes in the room, smart women in the room, smart persons in the room, and he was able to just kind of let it go. I didn't know Ed Orgeron would be able to do that at his age after coaching football for so damn long. And I don't know.
Not only let it go, did you read in the, again, I go back to the SI article was written, the only guy they ever had weekly notes, weekly scheduled notes on a Monday morning.
In 15 years.
Stuff like that.
In 15 years. Yeah. And would listen to you and then say, go do it. You know, or the thing that you might have been suggesting he already put in. Or like a guy that, I got to underscore this for people. Ed Orgeron's spirit animal was Bull Cyclone. Okay? Bull Cyclone got a 20,000 word piece written about him in SI by Frank DeForge. One of my favorite pieces of sports writing ever of all time. Coached at East Mississippi Community College. And was famous for making his kids practice in swamps filled with alligators, for shooting at crop dusters because he thought they were spying on him. For making his kids walk home, that sort of stuff. And Ed is that dude. He was that dude at Ole Miss. And all of a sudden he gets to LSU, not all of a sudden, but like you said, he's in a place where he has to redefine who Ed Orgeron is. And he's going, no, we're only going to practice for 2.5 hours in a week? Think about that for a second. 2.5 hours a week. Nobody does that. It's like, well, they know how to play. We recruited talent. Let's just keep them fresh. Or Grant Delpit didn't practice all week. I know you read this.
Yeah.
And did he look ready to go to you? Look ready to go to me?
You know who used to do that in in the late 1980s and early 1990s.
You gonna say Marv Levy?
Yep.
Okay.
No longer that with stretch, hour and a half.
Okay.
We're running no huddle. 18 plays a team was done in about 10 minutes. Went and sat on the bench.
No,
waiting for the defense to do their deal.
I like it.
But I want to go back to the Ed thing, and as far as learning what his weaknesses are, and what I want to tie that into is what we were talking about earlier, which is Chad Morris and Willie Taggart. I think that Chad Morris got that job at Arkansas with the hopes and prayers that he would be able to recruit the state of Texas like they hadn't seen in a while.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for him, or maybe a verdict on a lot of these guys, being the master recruiter is not enough anymore. At some point, you got to coach and you got to run a team. And I'm surprised that he was in a tough situation to begin with, but still, I don't think that if you're going to fire Willie for what they fired him for, you're going to have to fire Chad as well. But the thing is that I think that being just a recruiter anymore nowadays is not good enough. You've got to be able to coach as well. That's where what Ed has done, I think, has been so amazing that, like you said, he's allowed himself to give up the reins on some things and to do what he does best. And that's why you're seeing the ascent of that team. Plus, let's face facts, okay? The best quarterback they've ever had, ever in the history of the program, is there right now, more than likely.
No.
What'd you think?
No. I think you're shading Tyler, but I understand why. I understand, or I should say Tyler. Ryan Mallett. I think you're shading him.
No, I'm not talking about Arkansas.
Oh, who are you talking about?
I'm talking about LSU.
Oh, yeah.
This whole thing with Orgeron and everything is great. But the day that Joe, the best decision ever made was when Joe Burrow showed up.
No, because Joe Burrow showed up, and then they decided to give him an offense he knew what to do with, as opposed to this, relic from 1985. But I would gently fight you about Ryan Perrilloux. I would gently fight you about it. He couldn't keep himself together. But I would. It's interesting, right? It's a really interesting argument because I always thought that they had the dudes to run the sorts of offenses that other people were running.
This is where I thought you were going to walk to.
So it just, the
fact that Joe Burrow is the best quarterback they've ever had.
Oh my God, dude!
Or it's the fact that they have that they had other quarterbacks that were as good, but they weren't allowed to do what he's allowed to do.
I was about to say, all right. So where you have an argument for me right now is accuracy, right? And those boys just don't drop passes this year. So he puts it on them, they catch it, they go. But you really gonna tell me that Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham Jr. wouldn't know what to do if they had Ryan Perrilloux back there and put up all them numbers, dog?
Oh, dude.
That's why I said to gently fight you. Gently fight you.
In there.
Okay.
Been there.
Okay.
Seen that.
Just damn, dog. Where was Joe Brady 10 years ago?
Been there, seen that.
So, to your point about you can't just be a master recruit anymore, I'm going to throw some names at you. Nick Saban, Mac Brown, Dabo Swinney. Which one of those dudes is calling plays?
Which one's calling plays?
Yeah. It's a trick question. None of them are calling plays.
Right.
They're all the joke about Saban is that he would rather be out recruiting. Mac would really loves to be out recruiting. He even likes to recruit other coaches. Just ask Phil Longo and Jay Bateman. And Dabo and Ed speak the same language, right?
Right.
We're all shucks guys from the country. We're not even supposed to be here doing this.
They speak Seuss.
Right. And yet and still, who have the two highest paid defensive coordinators in the country?
Yes.
Right? And who says, to hell with what I get paid, make sure that Joe Brady doesn't take this job at Arkansas, okay? Let's see if we can do that. Which brings me around to a topic that it's going to be a lot of fun to talk about. We should talk about it now. Who is the next head coach at Arkansas?
Well, I mean, it depends on, there's probably a lot of possibilities. The thing that we don't know about is there a Brady, is there an SEC, a high-level SEC assistant that they're looking at to bring over, i.e. what Tennessee tried to do to put a spark in their fledgling, struggling program. I think that we've seen that that's not quite as easy as we thought. I personally don't understand. There's two guys that I would hire right now. The one guy I would hire, again, you're going to call me crazy, is the master of reclamation. There's nobody that fixes things like Todd Graham. Todd would be a guy that could do it. But that's not going to happen. Okay? That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. So we're going to go with the next best thing.
He said Todd Graham.
I had to say that.
I'm never
I knew I was going to get this reaction.
Oh my God!
I'm going to tell you what. You can't hire. You're not going to hire Todd, but you're going to hire the next best thing, which is you're going to hire Mike Norvell from Memphis. I think that's the guy I think everybody in Arkansas probably wants.
Todd is already in there going, "Hey, I live here. I just bought a house last night."
Oh no, they did. Are you kidding me? They went freaking. What was the deal they used to have with the motorhome, where the motorhome showed up for the game day?
Yeah.
He's had that sucker outside the stadium for like the last 3-4 days.
Oh my God! Oh, okay.
But no, I don't know if it'd be Todd or not. I don't know if he'd get any consideration. But he is a guy that has being serious now. He has a track record of fixing things.
He also has a track record of just jumping ship.
Right, exactly. But
no, I'm going to Arizona State. I got family here. I got family at Pitt too.
That was funny. But no, I mean, would you not think a guy like Norvell?
No, I want Norvell.
I mean, does all of a sudden the end of the season become an issue? And Auburn finally does what they've been wanting to do for the last however many years, which is get rid of Gus, and then Arkansas hires Gus. Does Arkansas take him away without him getting fired?
I don't even think Gus wants that job.
If Gus was smart, he wouldn't want it.
No, I think Gus is smart, because if Gus wanted to flex in the direction of Arkansas couldn't run to him quick enough. He doesn't want the job. He likes being at Auburn, and I think, frankly, he likes being able to fight boosters. Like, I think that's just part of who he is. He's a weird cat to begin with, but Norvell, for me, just feels like the dunk. He's in Memphis right now.
Norvell's a dunk for me, not only because of his age and what he brings and all that. It's the fact that now being in Memphis, he's learned that part of the country recruiting-wise. And that's going to be that'll be a big area for him. I think recruiting all down through their relationships. To me, it makes too much damn sense, but usually when it makes too much sense and they go with something crazy.
Oh yeah. They're going to bring John L. Smith back in there for just a second.
Coach Kynes.
Get John L. Smith in here. Hey, John, we want to sign you to a 3-year deal. 3 years? Damn. I'm not going to be here forever. Like 3. What? How about I give you 6 weeks? How about 6 weeks?
They'll turn around and they'll hire Dan Hawkins.
It's college football. Go play intramurals, brother.
All I know is they can hire 1 or 2 people, which would be fine with me. The first one is Norvell, and the other one is Dykes. They can hire either one of them, because if they get rid of one of those two, then it makes they see a little bit easier.
Hold on, let me flip the tape, because I got to unpack this Dykes thing for a second.